Hello everyone, I am Dr. Sirajul Faisi. I welcome you in my YouTube channel. Today in this video, I am going to talk about solid state chemistry. You know my friend, the science of detailed study of structures, solids and their properties. You also know that gases and liquid have fluidity, no specific arrangement of constituent particles. Solids have definite and systematic arrangement of ions, molecules. So, my friends, what is the characteristic properties of the solid? They have definite mass, volume, and shape. Intermolecular distances are short. Intermolecular forces are strong. Their constituent particles like atoms, molecules, or ions have fixed positions and can only oscillate about their mean positions, and they are incompressible amplitude. Now, my friends, you know, classification of solid substance. There are two classifications. First one on the basis of the molecular structure and three-dimensional geometrical arrangement of their atoms or ions. You know, crystalline solid, systematic geometric structure, amorphous solid, no systematic geometric structure. On the basis of binding forces, is bonding, you have the molecular solid, non-polar molecular solid, polar molecular solid, and hydrogen bonding molecular solid. You have the ionic solid, metallic solid, and covalent solid. Now, most of the solid substances are crystalline in nature. For example, all the metallic elements like iron, copper, and silver, non-metallic elements like sulfur, phosphorus, and iodine, and compounds like sodium chloride, zinc sulfide, and naphthalene form crystalline solid. Crystalline solid can be classified on the basis of nature of intermolecular forces operating in them into four categories like molecular, ionic, metallic, and covalent solid. What is the molecular solids? Molecules are the constituent particles of molecular solid. These are further subdivided into the following categories. First, non-polar molecular solid. Non-polar molecular solid. They comprise of either atoms, for example, argon and helium, or on the molecule formed by non-polar covalent bond, for example, H2, Cl2, I2. In this solid, the atoms or molecules are held by weak dispersion forces or London forces. These solids are soft and non-conductor of electricity. They have low melting points and are usually in liquid or gaseous state at room temperature and pressure. The second, polar molecular solid. Polar molecular solid. The molecules of substances like hydrochloric acid and sulfur dioxide are formed by polar covalent bonds, and molecules in such solid are held together by relatively strong dipole-dipole interaction, and these solids are soft and non-conductors of electricity. Their melting points are higher than those of non-polar molecular solid, yet most of these are gases or liquid under room temperature and pressure. Solid sulfur dioxide and solid ammonia are some examples of such solid. You know, the water, polar bonds. Hydrogen bonded molecular solid. Molecules of such solid contains polar covalent bond between hydrogen and most electronegative elements like fluorine, oxygen, and nitrogen atoms. The strong hydrogen bonding binds molecules of such solid like H2O. They are non-conductors of electricity. Generally, they are volatile liquids or soft solid under room temperature and pressure. So now, ionic solid. Ions are the constituent particles of ionic solid. Such solids are formed by the three-dimensional arrangement of cations and anions bound by strong Coulombic electrostatic forces. These solids are hard and brittle in nature. They have high melting and boiling point. You know, friend, since the ions are not free to move about, they are electrical insulator in solid state. However, in the molten state or even dissolved in water, the ions become free to move about their conducting or conduct electricity. You know, they are conducting electricity. Now, my friend, metallic solid. Metals are orderly collections of positive ions surrounded by and held together by a sea of free electrons. And these electrons are mobile and are evenly spread out throughout the crystal. Each metal's atom contributes one or more electrons toward the sea of mobile electrons. These free and mobile electrons are responsible for high electrical and thermal conductivity of metals. When an electric field is applied, these electrons flow through the network of positive ions. You know, my friends, similarly, when heat is supplied to one portions of a metal, the thermal energy is uniformly spread throughout by free electrons. Another important characteristic of metal is their luster and color in certain cases. This is also due to the presence of free electrons in them. Metals are highly malleable and ductile. Now, my friend, what is the covalent solid? A wide variety of crystalline solid of nonmetals results from the formation of covalent bond between adjacent atoms throughout the crystal. They are also called giant molecules. Covalent bonds are strong and directional in nature. Therefore, atoms are held very strongly at their positions. Such solids are very hard and brittle. They have extremely high melting point and even decompose before melting. They are insulator and do not conduct electricity. You know, diamond and graphite are examples of this type of solid. Graphite is soft and good conductor of electricity. Its exceptional properties are due to its typical structure. Carbon atoms are arranged in different layers, and each atom is covalently bonded to 3 of its neighboring atoms in sp2 hybridization in the same layer, creating hexagonal planar structure. The fourth valence electron of each atom is present between different layers and is free to move about, keeping a distance of 340 picometer PM between the layer. These free electrons, you know, make graphite a good conductor of electricity. Different layer can slide one over the other. This makes graphite a soft solid and good solid lubricant. You know, my friends, in contrast to graphite, tetrahedral structure is formed by sp3 hybridization in diamonds, and all carbon atoms are combined with 4 other carbon atoms, creating a 3-dimensional network. Therefore, it is the hardest substance known, and you know, it cannot conduct electricity because it does not have free electrons. Thus, in 2 allotropes of the same element, also intramolecular forces and different arrangement of atom results into a great difference in their properties. Now, my friends, on the basis of classifications, you have the type of solid: molecular solid, ionic solid, metallic solid, and covalent or network solid. So what is the constituent particles? In molecular solid, you have the molecules. In ionic solid, you have the ions. In metallic solid, you have the positive ions in a sea of delocalized electrons. In covalent or network solid, you have atom. What is the bonding and interactions forces in each types of solid? In molecular solid, you have the non-polar, polar, hydrogen bonding. So dispersion or London forces in non-polar. If you have the polar molecular solid, dipole-dipole interaction. If you have the molecular solid, hydrogen bonded molecular solid, hydrogen bonded. You know, the ionic solid bonding is Coulombic or electrostatic. In metallic solid, you know, the metallic bonding. In covalent or network solid, you have the covalent bonding. Examples, you know, argon and carbon tetrachloride, H2, non-polar solid, carbon dioxide even. Polar molecular solid example, hydrochloric acid and sulfur dioxide. You know, hydrogen bonding molecular solid, water is examples. Sodium chloride, magnesium oxide, zinc sulfide, calcium fluoride are examples of ionic solid. Iron, copper, silver, magnesium are the examples of metallic solid. Sulfur dioxide, silicon carbide, diamond, aluminum nitride, graphite are examples of covalent or network solid. What is the physical properties? Molecular solid, non-polar molecular solid, soft in nature. Polar molecular solid, soft in nature. Hydrogen bonding, hard in nature. You know the hard but brittle about the ionic solid. Hard but malleable and ductile about metallic solid. You know the covalent or network solid properties is hard and sometimes soft. It depends on the molecules. So, my friends, solid can be classified as crystalline or amorphous on the basis of nature of order present in the arrangement of their constituent particles. A crystalline solid usually consists of large number of small crystals, each of them having a definite characteristic geometrical shape. In a crystal, the arrangement of constituent particle atom molecules are in order. It has long range order, which means that there is a regular pattern of arrangement of particles which repeat itself periodically over the entire crystal. You have the example sodium chloride and quartz are the typical example of crystalline solid. Now, amorphous solid, Greek amorphos means no form, consists of particles of irregular shape. The arrangement of constituent particle atom molecules or ion in such a solid has a very short and only short range order. In such an arrangement, a regular and periodically repeating pattern is observed for the short distance. Only glass, rubber, and plastic are typical examples of amorphous solid. So, my friends, what is the difference between crystalline solid and amorphous solid? On the basis of shape, crystalline solid have definite shape and processing characteristic geometrical properties. Amorphous solid have irregular shape. Concerning melting point, crystalline solid definite and sharp melting point, which is the characteristic of the crystal solid. And amorphous solid becomes soft gradually during the small temperature range, have no definite and sharp melting point. Fusion enthalpy of crystalline solid, definite and characteristic fusions of enthalpy. Fusion enthalpy of amorphous solid, not defined, definite and characteristic fusion enthalpy. Cleavage properties of crystalline solid, you know, my friend, divided into two parts by cutting the crystal with the sharp tools like knife. The surface of the new parts obtained is a plain and soft, that it is a original one. And cleavage properties of amorphous solid, you know, divided into two parts, cutting the crystals with the sharp tools like knife, but the surface of new parts obtained is not as the original one. It is irregular. The nature of the crystalline solid, you know, the true solid, and the nature of amorphous solid, pseudo solid, or supercooled liquids. Order of arrangement of constituent particles of crystal solid, the order is maintained till a long range. And in amorphous solid, the order maintained in a short range. Effect of temperature of crystalline solid, the graph temperature time obtained on cooling after heating is not a curvature. The temperature remains definite during the crystallization. But in amorphous solid, the graph obtained on cooling after heating is a curvature. The temperature range is obtained during crystallization. What is the properties of crystalline solid? Their properties like electrical conductivity, thermal conductivity, mechanical strength, and refractive index, and different in different directions. In the amorphous solid, their properties like electrical conductivity, thermal conductivity, mechanical strength, and refractive index are same in all directions. So my friends, I hope this video will be beneficial for you. If you like this video, then subscribe my channel, and thanks for watching.